Yes, yes, so Hairless here. The last reaction of 2023 to Dimash that we did was Stranger, the Shine Super Brothers version. The first reaction we're doing of 2024 is also going to be Stranger, but this one is the new wave version due to popular demand. So before you watch this reaction, if you haven't already, please watch my previous reaction to the Shine Super Brothers version. I spoke about a number of things in that reaction which I may not repeat in this reaction if they're the same, such as interesting harmonies, chordal progressions, musical choices, vocal techniques, etc. If it's the same song, then I expect that from a musical perspective, a lot will be similar at a fundamental level. Also, because my experience with this song is with the other version, I will most likely be referencing that version in this reaction. I got a lot of comments in that other reaction saying that Dimash was sick and that he had to leave the show and go to hospital afterwards. I honestly couldn't tell by listening to him. I'm still quite new to Dimash. He's surprising me with each new performance that I see, and I thought it was a great performance. I really did. And the resilience to perform like that whilst being really ill, wow. And then final thing, this is a little bit of a disclaimer. No one will ever agree on everything, and there were many comments saying that the other version is better, and there are also many comments saying that this version is better and I have to watch this version. There were also comments saying that Dimash is lip syncing in this version. I'm not going to be looking out for this because it's still his voice, his music. I'm just very intrigued to see how different this version is to the Shine Super Brothers version that I've already seen. It's the same song with the same performer by the same artist, so I'm just going to assume for now that they are the same, so any differences that there are should surprise me. Okay, just before we get into it, once again, please do check out my reaction to the other version of Stranger, because I go into the musical side of things in detail and I explain quite a lot in that reaction. The link is in the description below, or the card for it is up here. That's enough of the introduction. So cool. There it is, the kobis. Thank you for everyone who let me know that in the comments of my other video. Traditional Kazakh instrument is very, very cool for me to see it played here. Apparently it's a really, really old instrument, so it's quite crazy to think about who might have been playing this, you know, centuries or millennia past. Alright, just before he starts, this is the same overall aesthetic as the other version. We have the choir dressed in hooded robes and some of them are singing, but it's very hushed noise, you can barely hear the choir. I have noticed that we are in the same key as the Shine Super Brothers version, so in terms of Dimash's range and his low or high notes, at this stage I think it's fair to assume that they might be similar. Just in case anyone doesn't know the version that I've seen before, this is what it looked like. You see the hooded robes in the background and Dimash himself is wearing a cloak. Okay, let's carry on with the new wave version.
You crown as far as I can see. You crown underneath my feet.
Igor at the piano again.
In a stranger's land, you chance to know who I am if I have the strength to begin again.
The sound of the kobis.
Somewhere in my heart, in ancient times, I wandered through these valleys. I find them on these hills. Faces from the past, and how deep are the memories? I've said lost, I've lost, I feel them in me sing. You grow far as I
Alright. So the harmony, the harmonic foundation underneath Dimash's initial entry catches my eyes in the exact same way as the first time I heard this song. There's nothing fancy going on here. We're in F minor and we've pretty much only just had 2 chords. And his whole range, what we've heard so far, is contained within 1 octave between those 2 E flats. So nothing new or crazy different there, no surprises. We saw we have Igor at the piano again. So then we have the melody in the kobiz, which, as I mentioned in my previous reaction, it outlines an interval called a tritone, which used to be known as the devil in music, diabolus in musica, because of the eeriness and unnaturalness of how it sounds. As someone who's never seen a kobiz before, because in the other version they don't show it, actually seeing it now really adds to the mystical element that I feel is in the music. To me, it's the unknown, and it's very interesting considering the subject matter of this song, Stranger. It's all about the unknown. So then we have this bit.
Times I wonder.
So the first time I heard this song in the other version, that was the lowest note I'd ever heard Dimash sing, a bottom C. Except now in this version, he actually goes a bit below the C. Here's the other version.
Times I wonder.
And then this version for comparison.
Times I wonder.
And then Dimash switches from his deep bass register to his tenor register. And again, we have a key change to highlight this change of registers. Now, I didn't mention this in my last reaction, but here, something Dimash does with his voice catches my ears. See the difference between him singing ground and C. Ground is a flat voice, there's no vibrato, there's no wobbling of the voice. But on C there is. Flat. And now. And in the other version. Having no vibrato is a much rawer sound, and it's interesting to see it happen in both versions, so it's clearly a stylistic choice made by Dimash. Okay, let's carry on from where we left off, which was here. I'm expecting, by the way, because in the last version, this happened at this point. His cloak comes off, reveals this contrasting suit, there's a key change, and then he goes into this section with crazy vocal runs and a ghost trill, a Monteverdi trill. I already saw some comments saying that won't happen in this version. Okay, well, let's see. Gonna quickly come to that high note there, but just a few points there as well. So we do have a key change here, coming a bit later than the other version. This time though, we go to C minor. In the other one we went to A minor, so both versions start in B flat. And then this time we go 2 half steps up to C, the other one is down a half step. And 2 half steps up is the second smallest change you can make in an upwards direction. The other one was the smallest key change you could make, but in a downwards direction. This time, going to C minor is still strange. It's still quite unnerving. All right, and then this thing here. Well, I don't know what it is, if there is even a name for that. I just find it really catchy. I don't know why. It almost seems a bit surreal. And then just afterwards, we have another key change. Back to F minor, which is the key that we started in. The purpose of this key change is to allow for the next bit that Dimash is going to do where he goes super high. If we're in the key of F, the melody that he can use is going to just be a lot higher than if we stayed where we were previously. And there it is. That top F, the highest note in the Queen of the Night. I feel like me showing the Queen of the Night clip might become a bit of a running joke. I show it every time. But the harmony around it further exaggerates this kind of culmination moment. The 2 standout features in this performance are 1, Dimash, and 2, the kobiz, the instrument. So here, they're playing in unison. They're playing the same notes, just at different octaves. But then just afterwards, for Dimash's top F, they're not. The Cobbies is going. Dimash is going. Then when played together, from this point, they're 5 semitones apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the difference between them adds a little extra oomph to exaggerate Dimash going so high, but also it reminds me of a really old style of singing, which is called organum, where the parts just move perfectly like this, up and down, with the same interval between them. It just doesn't sound quite right. Naturally, it just doesn't. It's to do with the frequencies. Let's carry on.
New crown far as I can see. New ground underneath my feet. Stranger in a stranger's land. New chains, don't know who I am. If I have the strength to begin.
All the reverb in the. Bravo. Bravo. You're so close to the fans, they can literally touch him if they want to. Okay, well, some final bits to go over from that last section. So, we get a key change again.
New crown.
We've now gone to C minor, which is the same key that we went to in the other version earlier when I said he takes off his cloak. New ground.
New crown.
New ground. And then we get shock, another key change. Here we go again, and this time it's to F sharp minor, which is the same as the other version, and we started this whole piece in F minor. So we've gone from here to there, which is the smallest key change you can make. It's similar to the start, but not quite. It's just slightly off. So this next section I'm going to play from the version that I first heard and then this version. I think it's an example of showing that just both versions are very good. They're just very good. There are some slight differences in the sections, and let's see if you can spot them. Slight differences that Dimash does here. So in this version, the new wave version, his staccato on who I am. In the other version, he isn't. And then in this version, he has equal rhythms on have the strength. But in the other version, he's a bit more free with the rhythm. See, it's slightly different. And then, of course, we have that last note. What a way to finish. Nice power, consistently sustained. And to be honest, it is pretty much the same as the Shine Super Brothers version. There's really not that much difference. Just in this version, he does hold it on for another 1 or 2 seconds right until the end. And even though I knew how the music went here, I was still hoping that there'd be a bit more musical rising in the bass part. Boom. Then I was hoping it would keep going dum dum dum, and he'd be holding on this note. Well, there we go. That was the new wave version. Yeah, I liked that a lot. Different to the version that I already knew, but that's the good thing about doing other versions. You can have differences, and he changed whole sections, and key changes came at different places, even though they started and ended at the same place. It's like the same journey, different routes. I like it. Cool, well, let me know which version you prefer. And once again, if you haven't seen the other version and you want to know a bit more info about the music, then please do go watch my reaction to that in the description below. As always, thank you very much for watching. Would appreciate a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.